Glad you chose to stop by the channel today. Just wanted to give you an opportunity to really become a part of this community here at the Coach Smook Network. We like to call ourselves the AAA family. The AAA stands for authenticity above all. We just want to give you an opportunity to become a part of this community because we're growing and we're doing something special here as a fan base, not just for Alabama, but the fan community as a whole. We're creating an environment where it's safe to be yourself, be authentic, and meet people who share the same passion you share, whether it's for the same team or not. You can do this by becoming a member of the AAA family. You simply start by just clicking the link provided to you by one of the moderators in the chat, or it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. Click that link, it'll bring you to my homepage. When you get to my homepage, make sure you hit the notification button and turn on all notifications. Understand that there are multiple ways to support the channel, and each level has its perks. You can go through and read each perk. As we continue to grow, new perks will be added to each level. One thing we would like to highlight that all AAA members are greatly appreciated. It does not go unnoticed that you have taken time and hard-earned money to support this channel. Once you join, YouTube is going to ask for some payment information, and make sure you monitor your subscription dates. Also, if you really want to get interactive with the community and find out what's going on, think about joining our Discord family. This is where you can get into all the fan talk of the community, and also there are networking opportunities. Please be mindful that there are rules and that we expect everyone to treat everyone with respect. Also, if you're looking to partner with Coach Smook Network or sponsor, please hit us up at coachsmooknetwork@gmail.com, and our staff will get back to you in a timely manner. I'm your boy, Coach Smook of the Coach Smook Network, and I thank you for supporting this channel.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
It's all in my head tonight. It's all in my head. It's all in my head. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite. Love all. What you said, but I lay in my bed. So I'm ready. It's all in my head. Love all, reunite. Love all.
Sir, let's get it, chat. Come on now. Give it up, man. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Let's see if we got everything turned up. It sounds like it's good, man. Sound like it's good. What's up, everybody? Good evening, man. Long work day. As you know, your boy always on the move, always doing something. We always trying to get something done over here. Getting some information coming in from some of the recruits that we'll be talking about throughout this series here on Check 'Em Out, Coach. Myself, Hall Tech Sports, Brody Smook, Coach TJ. We got some other names that'll be popping up in this network as we continue to build this content around these high school players. I'm about to go ahead and jump into the Twitter space so we can jump right into it. What's up, Jackson? What's up, everybody? Make sure y'all come in, like, share, subscribe. If you're tuning in on any other platform, make sure you come to the YouTube side and check in so we can see your comments. What's up, Dwayne? What's up, everybody in the chat? We're going to get our call outs in, and y'all know how we do, man. We just kind of, there's no real set system of how we do this right now. So continue to run the lights up. We're going to be talking about finishing our list up for the top in-state Alabama uncommitted prospects right now. We're reviewing the list from last week. That's what Hall Tech's doing right now in the space. But we're actually, as a matter of fact, let me make sure I got this routed correctly. Do y'all have audio? Can y'all hear me? We good? We good, chat? Can y'all hear me? Mic check. Good? We good? It looks like we're good. Looks like we're good. Thank God. Okay, we're good. So just talking a little bit about what we're getting into here on the Coach Smook Network. You all know that my passion is recruiting. That's a huge part of what I do, and that's what I've been able to follow, throughout my tenure here in this industry. Like, I've been very closely connected with the recruiting landscape, so I'm actually excited to be able to step into this lane and continue to grow. Y'all see the controller getting ready. We got late night gaming session. I'm putting BTA again. I feel like I've become him in the recent matchups and games that I've been playing. So y'all beware calling me out on that game right now. But getting into the show tonight, man. I'm ready to get into it. I'm excited. Hopefully y'all are ready to review some highlights, man. Talk about some of the top in-state kids in the state of Alabama. And even if you're not in the state of Alabama, stick around because we will be crossing over to Mississippi, Florida, Georgia. We'll be out in Arizona, California. We got some Colorado prospects we're going to be talking about. North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, everybody. We're going to be touching and reaching out to help all high school athletes, high school football players, both male and female. Y'all got to remember, we got female flag football now. Called Smook Network is on top of. We got a squad of people that we're going to be joining and collabing with and getting that squared away and getting it out to y'all. So let me make sure this is right once again. Get this mixer settings right. Configure. I need that to be line in. And line in, I'm going to use chat mic. No, I need that to be console. Right there. Now, only thing is, all right, outputs. We don't need to be in that. We need just to be able to chat to that. All right, so we should be good there. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can get in here and get some audio to you all.
I talked about last week. We had already broken down. But as you guys see, even though after I put the footage out of him at UAB, we knew Hunter or whatever the case may be, he's gonna give you a 4-star or 5-star result every single.
All right, y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear Haltech talking in the background.
On the footage that I dropped with Zion, just a little dose of him. He wasn't even in quarterback training. I don't think he's ever been trained by a quarterback coach. But naturally, this kid is a 4-star athlete, and he shows you that it don't matter where you put him at on the field, he's going to give you results, man. And I think Zion Crumpton, congratulations on you committing to South Florida. I think you're going to do very well there, whatever the system they have in place there, whatever plans they have for you. I know you're going to represent the state of Alabama well. You're going to represent your game, represent what you have done to become the athlete that everybody here in the state is starting to learn about. For the ones who've been watching you since last year, I kind of seen this coming along the way, but boy, you really have done a lot by taking on a quarterback.
It sure has.
Is, like I said, it's probably the most difficult position on.
So if y'all can hear him, give me some responses in the chat. Can y'all hear him talking in the back?
Even in the off season, I think you're going to do just well when the fall gets here. So Zion Crumpton, man, make no mistake, he is a 4-star athlete, and he is one of the guys that we have to show a lot of respect to. Although he has committed, I still say he's probably one of the top prospects in the state of Alabama that could easily decommit if one of these other schools start seeing the athlete that we see right now. And I know how critical it is for these guys to go ahead and get locked in right now. So Zion, man, you're locked in right now, committed to South Florida. Congratulations on all that. But I still expect you to come out and do your thing this fall. This going to probably raise the eyebrows of a lot more schools who haven't heard of you yet, but we'll definitely hear about you very soon, man. So Zion Crumpton is my 2A guy, especially on offense. I got Coach Smook coming in, man. Smook, are y'all live on YouTube right now, or y'all already screaming?
Yes, sir. Let me know. Can you hear me good?
Oh yeah, you're good. You're good.
All right, yeah, man. We're live, man. Just introducing everybody. They see your picture. We got that fire profile picture, man. I don't know if y'all paying attention to what Trey doing with this recruiting game, man. He really catching a lot of the big names by surprise right now. I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but a lot of things that he's been putting out over the past few months, a lot of people are starting to pay attention to it when they come and recruit in the state of Alabama. So I count it a privilege to be a part of this squad, man, and a part of this group of people that we come together, week in and week out, and we just continue to provide this exposure for these athletes. And speaking of Zion, man, I'm right here in the city with you, man. It was crazy to hear the news the other day, South Florida. I had just talked about comparing your athleticism to the quarterback that's currently there. Just as an athlete, with the type of diversity you provide, man. And like Trey said, man, I'm excited for your future. And like he said, don't limit your options, man. The nation is about to be put on notice the type of quality of an athlete that you are. We saw Jalen Mbakwe have the same type of surge last year. I mean, his senior year. playing quarterback as a natural defensive back, and now you see him at the collegiate level playing wide receiver at Alabama, and going to find himself in that rotation with some quality reps. So Zion, you keep doing your thing, man. We rooting for you, man, and I'm proud of you, bro. Just keep grinding and keep your head down, and the bigger things are coming. Bigger things are coming. So, but yeah, y'all, Hard Tech, we live, man. We live here on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok tonight. We got TikTok popping, and they popping in and showing you some love too, Hard Tech. They glad to be here.
Hey man, look, man, I appreciate the other sites, man, other social platforms, man. Appreciate you too, Smook, man. Like we done came a long way, man. We've been talking for a year, trying to just get on the same page and just try to, collaborate on different things, different projects, sample here, sample there. But I think we've kind of figured it out for the players, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
Parents, they're excited too because they can actually see their boys, all the money that they spending on all this training and all this and all that. They're actually starting to hear or see the results of the kids getting better, more playing time, more people saying their name, more people sharing their content. And that's really how we built this community.
Yes.
It's through sharing other kids' stuff, content, and good players, man. Good quality players is what we look for, man. So I appreciate everybody that's tuning in on all the social platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything that's out there, Facebook. I think Smook does a really good job of spreading all his content across all his platforms. And man, I've been so dedicated to the Twitter world that I know there's an outside world there, man, but I felt like I have funneled the sports fans to the Twitter content is because I know there's a lot of websites out there, but it seems to me that Twitter is just as a home for me to be able to directly connect with the football community, those coaches and those staffs. I know exactly what they're trying to do, and they're trying to make their jobs easier. They're trying to make their lives easier is because the game is so hard. So I've understood that dynamic. And people who are like-minded like myself are starting to understand that dynamic that, hey, man, everybody has their own lane. You can do whatever you want to do in your lane, control your lane, and talk about as much as you want in your lane. But the moment you start to collaborate and combine your thoughts with the other's thoughts and it can mutually fit, man, you can get great results, man. And I think what we're trying to do right now is literally do something that a lot of the major companies, they don't want to talk about publicly, but it's a beautiful thing when Twitter and YouTube and all these other social sites can interact with one another and make something on a universal court where everybody can tune in some form or some fashion. And I think that's exactly what we're doing right now. And the guys that we have talked about since last week's show and to this week's show, every one of these kids and these parents and these schools, you guys are going to benefit from this because you can take a break from lobbying for your kids for a moment because you got outside sources that are, we're using to help communicate the word about these players. Of course, these are some of our top guys in the state of Alabama. People say, well, it's easy to talk about those guys, but it's unfair to those guys that we just use that rhetoric about them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, somebody else is going to talk about them, so we don't need to talk about them. That's not fair to those guys either. So I try to keep everything fair as possible. Yeah, they are ranked. Yeah, they are better off, sure. But still, we have to represent the state of Alabama. That means we have to represent our top guys, our low guys, our lower tier guys, the bottom guys. All of them have to be treated equally. The same way you would at your job site. You got to treat the janitor, the boss, the secretary. You got to treat everybody the same way. So when people view you and look at you, what you're trying to do,
facts,
they won't be able to say, hey, man, he just for so-and-so. He just for that. Boy, if I would have did that, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be here today. So I appreciate Smook for understanding that. And everybody who's like-minded, who share those things, Mr. Houston, Mr. Johnson, my whole team, man. I don't work with so many great people. But not a single person can't say, I didn't give you every resource to put you in front of a lot of people, a lot of people, often, every opportunity. Now, what you do to maintain that is how you stay in the business, in the game. You got to know how to maintain the image and things that you wanted. Everything that you want, you got to be able to maintain it. Because if it's given to you, anybody can get it. Yep. It's all about maintaining it. And that means you got to work. I don't know what you're doing when I ain't talking to you. If I don't see you in the lab, if I don't see you training, it's very hard for me to go vouch for you. It's very hard for me to go tell that coach, man, yeah, he is working. Now, I can say as much as saying, yeah, he will do what it takes. But if I see you religiously working, I'm going to go above and beyond because you've given me every bit of proof. And these guys that I seen here and talked about right now, 1A through 2A, Sedarian, Bodney, Zion, on to Landon Duckworth right now, every single one of these guys will show you what it takes to be great, why they're ranked the way they are, why they're in the position the way they are. They will show you. They don't have to be rah-rah type guys because yes, it is self-explanatory who they are because they have elevated their statuses. But for me, a guy that's in the field, in the journalistic world, I have to see these guys on the ground level to make sure everything identified.
Yes.
And I have seen every single one of these guys on here in live action. So I feel like if you're not dedicated to the craftsmanship of journalistic work and the work to help high school athletes right now at this level, man, it's a tough business for you to be in right now because it will show. It will definitely show how dedicated you are to help these kids, man. So we're going to move along, man. Appreciate you, Smook, man. Hope your audience is locked in. Hope I got it warmed up very well.
You out here preaching. You out here preaching. You go ahead, Trey. You doing that preaching stuff again.
You don't have to get it, man. But I'm going to let Mr. Houston come in before I chime in, but I'm going to do a recap real quick. And
yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, you're going to pass the plate around. Hey, Coach, listen, you got a guy that you talking about South Florida. You got a guy that just came there from Utah State. His name is Aiden Johnson.
Yeah.
He's assistant quarterbacks coach. Man, that's a secret weapon for South Florida. And I'm talking to our kids in Alabama and the Panhandle and everybody that's listening to us. This guy really is dedicated, especially you QBs and receivers. And he's from Melbourne, Florida. He played a little bit at Wake Forest, but he transferred to UCF. So he's a quarterback at UCF. He's got connections. He knows Florida. He knows the Panhandle. He knows Southeast Alabama. And y'all reach out and follow Coach Hayden. He's a personal friend of my nephew, one of my super connections. So Aiden Kingston, y'all remember that. He's a hell of a quarterback coach. Came from Utah State. What do you know about him, Coach?
Share him down at the bottom in our comment section because we need to get him locked in on that. I'm not familiar with him, but Coach Smook, you know him?
I'm not familiar with him either. I'm actually trying to find him now. I'm always looking for those training development guys to connect my guys with, especially when they can get across those state lines here in the state of Alabama. So, okay, let me go find that right now. Appreciate that, Coach. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah, appreciate that. And as far as recapping goes, we talked about Sedary, we talked about Bobby Cleveland, talked about Zion, Landon Duckworth was the last player we talked about last week. Definitely he's down to his last two picks. I think he brought his decision down to Auburn or South Carolina. I think a lot of people who are in the SEC are very excited about that we will get Landon Duckworth in the SEC. I think a lot of people who know Landon Duckworth, a lot of people are saying that it's probably going to be South Carolina. I don't know that. I don't know that, but it could be Auburn. I mean, you just got to understand, a kid like Landon Duckworth, we would love to see him in state. So I hope that Auburn does everything that they can to get him. And we know sometimes situations just don't work out how you want them to. Either school would be a great choice. I think there was an article that came out about South Carolina's quarterback right now that said he turned down $8 million.
Mm-hmm. Can't confirm that too. I confirm that.
Okay, so listen here. If he did that, that means he loves the system that he's in. That means he's gonna make it to the NFL because if you passing up $8 million, you must know something that nobody else knows, or you're in a system where you're so comfortable with that it's gonna translate you to the next level. You're gonna make money just around the $8 million mark. What do you know about that, Smook?
So that's the thing, and I look at Landon Duckworth's skill set, his frame, everything. You look at what Lenore Sellers is right now, and we talked about this last week. What Lenore Sellers is right now for South Carolina, I think Landon Duckworth is the evolved version of what Lenore Sellers is transitioning through and trying to become for what this scheme is demanding. So I like the South Carolina lean. A lot of people around that program feel like he's a strong lean. He sees how his skill set literally plug and play in the system. So you're talking about a true freshman guy that's going to push to be an early enrollee. If I'm looking at his progression right now and get there in spring and really compete, Sellers is there, but there's a future progression of what that quarterback position needs to be evolved into for that system to really start thriving. And South Carolina started showcasing pieces of that last year towards the latter half of the season. So I like Landon Duckworth, the South Carolina, but just his whole recruiting process has been an amazing thing to watch how he's handled it. So excited to see what his next phase is going to look like.
And on to piggyback onto that, one of the biggest surprises I think in the country, a lot of people in the state of Alabama, a lot of people from the Jackson community are still a little on edge about Alabama not offering Landon Duckworth. That is still a mystery.
Yes.
I totally get it, because you would put pressure on a lot of people, and I don't think Alabama's quarterback room wants that type of pressure. I mean, Landon Duckworth would have came in very competitive, definitely the tallest quarterback. I mean, everybody that know Landon Duckworth knows you put him in the right offense, you're going to get the same results that we see right now with Jackson high school football team right now. That's a lot of big explosive plays. The kid can run the ball as well, a true dual threat. I mean, a tall version of Lamar Jackson. I mean, he can give you literally anything that you want. So it would have been, probably a I don't like to throw the word controversial if Alabama would offer him, because it would have put pressure on some of those quarterbacks. But the situation at Auburn, I mean, him, Deuce Knight, they both in the same quarterback room. Tension. I mean, you can just tell Landon Duckworth is ready to play. He is sit him there for 1 year, let him learn. This boy is ready to hit the field. I mean, you can just tell with his athleticism, how he's built, how he plays. He is not trying to sit long, man. I mean, it's one of those things where he's going to be probably 1 year behind the kid, and he's starting the next year, just because Landon Duckworth is one of those type guys. And if you're saying the guy from South Carolina is going to be there for at least 1 more year, man, it sounds like it could be a great plan to say, hey, man, we're going to let this guy do this thing. Landon, you learn from him. Boy, after that, you're next up. Because Spencer Rattler gave a great blueprint for South Carolina to get guys to the next level. So I feel like if Spencer Rattler can do it the way he played, type of athleticism he had, I see Landon Duckworth, doing the exact same thing. Or at Auburn, which is very much inconsistent last year. I don't talk college football that much, but I'm just judging off what records were last year. I can see that, Landon Duckworth could come into a situation like that. If Deuce Knight can't do it this year, or whoever starts, I don't know. You got to start looking at, possibilities like a Landon Duckworth. So I can see why he's brought his schools down to those final two schools and made the best school win, which is the same situation going on with 3A, Tank Jones. He's down to, I think, Alabama and Auburn. They're both fighting over Tank Jones, who's been highly coveted the past 2-3 years, I would say. He's probably the only guy on this list that has been in the spotlight, I would say, easily for the past 3 years. He has maintained his image. He has maintained that 4-star, 5-star status ever since then. He has lived up to the hype every single season. So Tank Jones, his status is still pretty high. I still think highly of him. I think he's going to do well at the next level. I think he will make a splash at the next level in due time. So Tank Jones, he's another one of those kids like Landon Duckworth are in a very tough situation. Alabama, Auburn, I think those his two. I don't know his final selections, but I do know Alabama and Auburn have both been after this young man for a very long time. So it will be very interesting to see where he lands. I in my opinion, I feel like he's an Alabama guy, but at the same time, I can say, hey, he could be an Auburn guy because of his position, because of where he plays. It could be either or. So Tank Jones is a mystery when it comes to next level. But I will say it's going to be between Alabama and Auburn, more than likely, courtesy of what On3 has for him right now. I think they're talking back and forth between Alabama and Auburn. So, Smook, you might know a little bit about that. Is that close to your thinking with him right now?
One of the top in-state targets for Bama, of course. This staff has been very vocal about trying to lock down the state and get back into a lot of those top-end recruiting battles. Last year they really lost the in-state recruiting battle, but you look at how they recruited outside of the state to go and get guys that they missed on in-state. This staff found a good way of doing that, but they really understand the importance of locking down the state and maintaining that separation in program, as far as the program separation between Alabama and Auburn and Alabama and Georgia. Even with a lot of recruits that we're getting from the Georgia side of things. So, but Tank Jones is definitely a priority recruit for this group. But you look at the guys that's in that room right now, he's probably not going to transition to the inside linebacker room, which is what Alabama is really looking for in this class. They're looking for guys that can be kind of, transitional guys, whether they need to fit the edge or the inside linebacker room. He's a true edge, in my opinion. He's more like your true Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, next type of prospect. not necessarily plays like them, but provides that type of impact with what he does well, and that's edge rushing. He can bull rush. He can get his hands on you. Don't let him get his hands on you as an offensive tackle or a tight end. You're going to lose. 9.8 times out of 10, you're going to lose that one. So, and he's just a strong young man, 6'4", 250, 255 now. And he's continuing to put on size, which allows me to believe that true defensive end position, which I believe a lot more schools are going to look at him to play, being that he can have the athleticism to stand up, get in the wide nine technique and really provide some wide run containment, pass rush ability. He's going to be valuable wherever he goes, and he's going to have an opportunity. Especially, I know I can speak personally from Kane Womack's system at the defense at Alabama. I think he's going to fit well if that's the way he decides. But I really feel like he's more of a Auburn fit. They really get linebackers, edge guys like this, and they thrive in just traditionally have thrived in Auburn type schemes. Maybe not on the win-loss record when it comes to playing Bama, but that it's always worked out well for them going to the NFL, and that's ultimately what you want for these young men. Regardless, as a diehard Bama fan, I love to see when guys make the right choice and they do schematic fits for their career and development on field, also to go inside with their educational goals and things that they want to achieve. So I think he's more so of an Auburn lean, if you ask me, following the recruiting real closely here. Back on you, brother. I think he might have. Okay, there you go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he definitely locked in on where he may end up landing at, and which you got expertise in that field. So I think you're spot on with your analysis on him, and we will see. He could be a surprise this year. That pipeline out of Mobile, a lot of those kids, they normally go to Alabama. I think they naturally. They have a pipeline of kids going to Alabama, but it could be shaken up with this. So Tank definitely gonna put something out there when he makes his commitment to whatever school he decides to go to. But everybody's waiting on that too, man, because they can't wait to actually finally get this guy on their team, because he's been talked about, like I said, for the past easily 2-3 years as a highly coveted underclassman. And now he's finally a senior. I think he's due for a big year and also a heavy recruitment toward the back end of it. So good luck to Tank, man, and it leads to another man, another young man, Xavier Crowell. Xavier is due for a big season. I mean, he's still technically a young 26. He reclassed, of course, but I think everybody who has seen Xavier Crowell, if you have not seen Xavier Crowell play live, you have definitely missed out. This young man plays and runs the ball extremely hard. He runs like it's no tomorrow against any competition, 1A through 7A. This young man runs the football like it's no tomorrow. He runs with a purpose. I think anybody has ever seen him play, you can easily tell he runs with a purpose, and he gets point A to point B very quickly. And he's also a physical, very, very physical running back, which is raising the stake for running backs nowadays to be that physical running back. And big shout out to Saquon Barkley for rejuvenating the running back position, because I think he did a lot for it at the NFL level. Ashawn Gentry, I think I'm saying his name right. Those guys are doing a lot of adjustments to the running back position. So when you got guys like that, that's only going to raise the stocks for Xavier Crowell. Now, one thing about running backs is that, boy, they're deep, man. They keep running backs all at the next level, even from the scout team. They always keep good running backs. So to be an elite running back, you got to have hands. You got to be able to be a very agile running back to really make it to be at the highest level. And I feel like Xavier Crowell has exhibited all of that. I think even some of the clips my guy Larry put out this week, Xavier Crowell can catch the ball too. He's not only just a running back. Man, this kid got hands, great hands at that. So he's going to be an asset. Everybody's looking at him to be at Alabama right now, which I could see that. I really could see that. But lately, Auburn has been producing NFL players down at the running back position. So it could go either way. I don't know exactly his final four, but I just know Alabama has been crystal ball, quote unquote, to get him, and which either way it goes, wherever he goes, Smook, I think you got another special player coming at that running back position, man. And I think his recruitment, man, is definitely picking up the pace, man, considering he's almost about to be graduating as an underclassman, early graduate.
100%. And you look at what's leaving the Alabama running back room next season. You can expect Jam Miller to make his exit to the draft. Trey Washington, who is an incoming transfer, senior graduate transfer, he won't be there. Richard Young, depending on what type of production year he has, he might go and be a solid second, third round pick in this draft. And then you're left with Daniel Hill, true freshman. AK Deer is probably the next duo of backs to really be the bell cows in that room. And then you got Kevin Riley, who's a local T-Town kid, highly recruited, highly underrated 4-star commit that Alabama 3-star commit that Alabama was able to get in that class, and he's dynamic. You can really solidify this class with Xavier Crowell being your lead back the next up, and he has that ability. You look at his size, 5'11", right there at the 200-pound mark. Literally the build and the size that the backs that Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb are going to go and get for the system. And then you look at him, outside zone scheme running. That's where he really thrives at to me. He knows how to put his foot in the ground, get lateral, and then stick his foot in the ground again, see a hole and hit a crease. And you're going to see him pull away in the open field. It's not going to go down easy, a very physical runner like Haltech said. But like on the screen now, just the way he can bounce outside and still, gain ground upfield, that type of balance. It requires a lot of speed, balance, core strength, and you can tell he's putting that work in. Solid frame guy, going to continue to grow. I think he might end up being a 6'1". When he's done growing, he might be 6'1", and gives me the feels of kind of like a Kenyon Drake type of back when he finally fully develops with all of his skill sets, hands, the speed, the elusiveness. He doesn't have a normal traditional compact running style, but he runs tight enough with the ball to where you trust him to give him 25 plus carries a game if need be. So I'm excited to see Xavier Crow, not Xavier, Xavier Crow joining the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's where all indications are saying right now, even our personal interactions with him. The young man is a diehard Bama guy, loves Bama, but Auburn is making their push. Auburn is going to continue to push with a lot of these in-state guys like they did last year, which rightfully they should. That's what we want in our state with recruiting. Our two big universities, we want to keep that part of college football alive, at least for us in our fan bases, because with everything changing in college football, people have this belief that it's losing its touch, it's losing its integrity. But these type of recruiting battles give us a little piece of that to keep that a part of college football. And we're lucky to have it in the state of Alabama with this rivalry between Alabama and Auburn, being able to recruit guys like Xavier Crowell. I can't wait to see what this commitment looks like. I got a good feeling he's Bama though, all day, roll tide.
No problem at all. Now, you looking at the top 6 guys that we've already discussed so far, the 1A, the 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, offensive and defensive player settings that I'm starting to do now. Because like I said, I value offense and defensive players, top players, so I don't want to put one over the other because both sides of the ball are very important to teams. Now, Xavier Crowell, all these guys that I listed today are high-value prospects. These prospects hold very high value to universities right now. So when we talk about NIL, these guys are at the top of the food chain when it comes to value. And we want those kids to understand. We know at the climate of high school and college football, the translation where you can literally make life-changing money as soon as you graduate. Well, you could be getting it as soon as you graduate, honestly, if you graduate early. So a lot of these things are important to these guys, and I want the outside world to know that these kids are very, very talented student athletes. And for us to see what they have to go through on Thursdays and Friday nights, we know some of the teams that these guys are playing are some of the best athletes that they're going against. So they have to justify the elite level that these guys are. And everyone on this list have to go through a gauntlet. Barring, Jackson, everybody else, man, y'all boys have had to play very, very tough top teams at the highest level, 6A, 7A. You guys are playing against top premier guys week in and week out. So that has value to the star ranking that you guys have, that everybody on the outside world who may or may not understand. But for us, we know it's pretty justifiable that you guys are playing against the best of the best, especially talking about winning a state championship in your respective classes. We know you will go through a gauntlet. So those top guys right there, man, I appreciate what y'all have done thus far in y'all's career. You still have one season left as a senior, and you definitely want to go out with a bang. Most of the people that's on this list right now, there will be people in the stands that's buying a ticket just because of your name. I just want you guys to know I want to give you guys your flowers now is because I appreciate what you have done, what your parents them have done since Yay High to put all of you kids in position to be talked about.
Facts, man.
That we talk about, y'all. 4-star, 5-star, highly coveted, millionaires in waiting, all of this stuff, man. This is great stuff to be talking about. It's because you guys have worked your way up, or whatever situation it was to get you here. I'm pretty sure each and every last one of you guys have a story to tell. So, man, what a way to start the way with you top 3 guys at the offensive and defensive positions. You guys have set the tone for years to come, because you guys were ushered in the first ever pay-to-play for college football, where it's actually a budget for actual college players. At first, it was NIL at first, 2020. Now we're at the stage of 2025, 5 years later. We actually have rules in place to where there's a scale for how you guys will be getting paid now. Never in a million years we thought we would be here so fast, so soon. But here we are.
That part, brother.
Everybody got to work their way to the top. So that means right now, if you don't have no trainer, you don't have nobody training you to be the greatest at your position, to be developed and all those things. By the time you become a senior, if you don't have none of those traits and none of those skill sets, and you can't put it on film for Thursday and Friday nights, no way you can be in the same category as these guys right here, because most of these guys have done what it takes for a very long period of time, or they're putting themselves in position because of the training and things that they're doing to get them there. So what a great way for this group of guys to be role models. So with all that being said, let's finish up, Smook. Now I'm at the place where we finished off last week before we got cut off here, man. We started with Donovan Crow. You said you was very familiar with Donovan Crow out of Central Phoenix City. Donovan Crow is a running back that's a thumper, man. He's a downhill runner. He may juke here, there a little bit, but for the most part, Donovan Crow is trying to get down the field. He's trying to get down the field downhill if he can. He is a great contributor, has contributed to Central Phoenix the past couple years, I know, but this is his senior year. I think he will get a load of the carries, and I think Coach Nix will rely heavily on his run game, is because Central has always been a very
I think running back room this year will be more by committee, but he will be the bell cow. With all of the experience he's had over the past 3 years, being in that running back rotation and on that varsity squad, and you know the type of talent you just said it, the type of talent that's come out of Central Phoenix City just the past 2 years. Just imagine what was there his freshman year, and he had to come through the system. And what I know personally about Central is even back in the early 2000s when I was there, it's a system. They start you off, learning parts of and phases of what the system is at the high school level when you're at the middle school. And that's why you see those guys come out and you see similarities. You see like remakes of Justin Ross's. You see remakes of what are some more recent guys that we seen come out of Central, man. AJ Harris is a recent guy, DB, that transferred from Glenwood but is familiar with that system. And you see him come over to Central and thrive. So and they got a lot more prospects with Donovan Crow over there, but him in that running back room, man, I think it's going to be more of a committee. And I'm going to be a lot more closely connected this year, being back and forth back home. So I'm excited to see his development this year. Pulling up his highlight film, though, Hard Tech, like you said, he's not looking to run around anybody. He don't care to pull away from you. He rather just run through you to get to the end zone. And that's what you're going to see with this brand of ball with Coach Nix. And that's why I feel like he's still going to be able to be impactful. Maybe don't have to get 25 carries a game, but 15, 19 carries a game. He can get an 800 plus yard type season with 15 plus rushing touchdowns, and that continue to build his stock. Solid frame, going to give you the frame that you want at the collegiate level, and going to develop into that frame. So I think he's just that natural traditional back, and then provides the electricity when needed. That one step cut, get up north and south. That's what you love and value about him, and it's solid in pass pro. Central's passing game benefits from good quality blocking running backs. So that's another plus for him. So I'm excited to see what this young man is doing. Him and his family, man, they really dedicated to getting their son out there. And I'm gonna support him. I'm gonna push him just as hard as he's pushing himself, and he's really dedicated. So Donovan Crow, keep doing what you're doing, man. I can't wait to see where your destination, your next part of your journey is going to continue.
Absolutely, and he's already picked up. That's what we both see. And that translates to the college level. That's what I see.
100%. And I think that's what you're starting to see. He's getting into these 707, these camps now, and he's really like a lot of these guys. They're getting that exposure now because of what we're doing, man. And it doesn't take a highlight film or highlight clips full of breakaway runs. Like a lot of these staffs and these programs, I'm a advocate for one right now that's really been sneaking into the area. So for all the coaches and the scouts out there and the 707 programs, UTSA is an uptrending program. University Texas and San Antonio, the Road Runners, they're very, very, uptrending like crazy right now. Them, Rice, SMU, they're returning. That NIL ruling is changing the game for universities like that. So when you start to see UTS come around, listen to them as you should to any program. I don't care what level it is. Listen to them, but take an opportunity to go take that visit. You'll be surprised what's happening down there in UTSA. And a guy like Donovan Crow could go to UTSA this year, as this upcoming year after he graduate as a freshman, and really get in some rotational type playing because they're a depth team. They had the most players with over 50 snaps than any other team in college football last year. So that's an attractive pitch when you're talking about NIL, and they're able to get that money in. They're able to raise that money. It's the state of Texas. All of those universities are going to be well off and able to do what they can to attract. And it's more so branding in Texas now. So I wouldn't be surprised if UTSA starting to make their presence felt in the state of Alabama. Donovan Crow comes up on their radar. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes out there and gets exposed to what I'm exposing you all to and gives them a serious look.
Nothing's off limit with a quality running back. He can give you 2 solid downs, and you got another running back that can give you another flavor on third down, or use him as a third down and third pack. He has value right now, and playing at 7A football will only increase that for Donovan. And I'm expecting Coach Nix to utilize that and also be a pitch man for him to help him get to the next level and probably put him at the right college and university. Because like I said, people are watching his film now, and he's being evaluated. He's been elevated as a 3-star on 3. So I really like what Donovan has done for himself. He has worked hard for it. He was recently the MVP at the Rivals Camp down in Dothan. So I saw something in him there, and I've been seeing something in him with all the stuff he's been doing. It made me say, hey, there's something going on with this kid. Not only does he have an offer from University of Minnesota, which is a very respectable school, he has talent to back it up. So Donovan, I think you're putting yourself in a great situation. You just keep doing what you're doing to put up the numbers. Like I said, we're not expecting you to have 2,000 yards in the season, but we know you're going to put up some numbers. We know you're going to contribute to this Central Phoenix City team's ground game, and that right there will translate very well to every college program that's looking for a solid running game with a solid running back, 6 foot, 200-some pounds, that can pick up speed, do things. You do things in a unique way to get your team in position to get better. So I think as a running back, that's value. That's creating a lot of value. So Donovan, keep doing your thing, man. I think we think highly of you. I think you have what it takes to make it next level, and just keep doing your thing.
Hey, real quick, Trey, before we go on, I just remember Lil Donovan with the Outlaws, man. And I think that's where, like, when I'm just looking at the pictures now and like seeing them grow up, like I remember Lil Donovan with the Phoenix City Outlaws. I think it was the 20 City Outlaws they were at the time, man. And even then, man, he had a different mindset with the kids around him. You know how he approached the game. So it's kind of funny seeing this thing come full circle. Him with the 3-star rating, guys like him and Bryson Riggs, they all played on the same. I believe they played on the same team. So it's gonna be crazy seeing this year, this 26 class in the state of Alabama. For me personally, just seeing some of these prospects and their profiles continue to grow.
Absolutely, man. We're going to talk about so many 26s and other classes along this journey throughout the year with these Tuesday and Thursday show that me and Coach Smook are trying to do, man. We're literally trying to do everything we can. Right now, if y'all are not tuned into the YouTube live channel, we're cross-collaborating our shows right now. While you're on this space, you can actually click on your YouTube and watch the YouTube show live. Smook is live on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or all his other socials. But we're screaming the actual films of the guys that we're actually talking about right now. So, guys, we're definitely trying our best to innovate high school football in the state of Alabama, which will likely spread to others. Once they see us doing it, having success, having a great time, others will follow suit. We're trendsetters over here in the state of Alabama because you guys are performing at exceptionally highly rate right now, where the nation is paying attention to what you guys are doing on the.
Hey, chat, for everybody tapping in, thank you all for tapping in. We're doing highlight reviews for our high school athletes here in the state of Alabama. Continue to tap the screen over there on TikTok, Twitch. Everybody that's tapping in, continue to like and share. Let's get back to it.
This is one of the guys right now. That's one of those rare gems. But you got to talk about him. Talk about a kid that's 6'5", 285 pounds. Is coming off that edge. Plays very, very aggressive. Briarwood Christian. Have you had a chance to check him out, Smook? Now he's different. He's different, but he's unique and he has the size and ability. And therefore, he has value that he has created for himself. And I think his film justifies the potential that he has once he finally gets into his groove and becomes a player that I feel like that we think he can become right now. So right now, what's your early take and assessment on the kid Garrett Witherington out of Briarwood Christian?
So Witherington was a kid, when I looked at his film and literally got hip onto him probably like 2 or 3 days ago, to just being straight up and being honest. I don't know if it was a recent camp showing a report or something that came across, but then I saw you tagged him. So I pulled the film up today, man, or yesterday, and literally he reminds me a lot of a player on Alabama's roster, Keani. Size, frame, his get off, literally first step quickness at that size is almost unmatched. And it's almost crazy that, you see his skill set in this state and wondering how he's not being recognized with some of the talent you see at Ramsey, some of the talent you see at Parker, the Carver talent, like Central Phoenix City, all the D-line talent in the state. He's literally right there on the same level as some of these top end guys. So it's not crazy to see him starting to gain some attention late with this 3-star rating. I like the size, man. 6'5", 265, 270 right now. Going into the senior year, or was it 280? Is it 280 kid? So this is a kid that's going to be a true
285, bro.
Man, this young man, when he's done growing, he could be a true 0-1 technique, true defensive tackle, nose tackle plug with the height, reach. You're talking about something like what we got from Quentin Williams a few years ago at Alabama, and what you got from the Stackhouse kid at Georgia. Like generational talent, being underrated, and Jordan Davis. That was the young man's name, right? Jordan Davis over at Georgia. That's the type of talent he possesses. Maybe not them same exact skill sets, but his skill set, that bull rush, being able to be slippery, he can track the ball. Man, let me get his highlights on the screen while I'm talking, man, because I was amazed. Just his mobility at his size, Hall Tech. Like you said, you don't get this frame, this size to move like he moves. And then he's doing it in a competitive league in Alabama football. So I'm excited to see what this senior comes. I think Briarwood is going to have a much more athletic defense than what we're used to seeing from that program in years past because of guys like him.
Well, they started out slow last year. Briarwood as a team started out slow. So anybody that knows Briarwood football, they have a unique style of play. They're not a flashy team. They're not going to try to do all this stuff to just make you say, "Oh, wow, ooh." They're gonna play that smash mouth football. They're gonna line up, hit you in the mouth, do what they're supposed to do. They have a very unique style, just like Mountain Brook. They're gonna line up. That's Xavier Hill, Mountain Brook, and Briarwood. They all share the same playbook. I feel like they all share the same identity as far as
mentality.
We got a style of play that traditionally we don't.
I got food in my teeth. I'm being so ghetto. What's up, Zion?
We're gonna make you want to quit.
Look at my youngin'. What's good, man?
We're gonna keep playing football. Fundamentally sound, very.
Zion, we're gonna be in Texas on Thursday. We're gonna be looking at some highlights in Texas. So give me your highlights. You and Zeke. Can't wait to see y'all, man.
Like him flying on the radar. It's another reason why Smook, a lot of these guys that we know and we train with L, it's just because with the popularity of Coach L's step-by-step program blowing up, kids blow up because of that too. So I've been a part of that, man. I kind of helped L gravitate toward that element of getting people to know who he is, how he trains. Some kids would actually come to L's to think that just by showing up at L's, you're gonna get an offer. That's not necessarily the case.
Gotta put that work in.
You have to put in a little work. You really have to prove yourself. And that's something that I think a lot of kids start to realize. And that's how some of them blow up, because they consistently come in there week in, week out and prove that they want to be there. That's how they blow up pretty fast. So Garrett, I haven't seen him at Coach L. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm very curious to know who his trainer is, what he does to get prepared for this season because he have done well for himself. He don't need coach here, so to speak. He is getting it in his own way. He has his own training. Now, sometimes by default, when you're not training with a well-known trainer where we use that press that we know that you're there to help you, sometimes you're going to fly under the radar. So it happens sometimes. I mean, it just happens to the best of the best. But overall, we try our best to make sure all guys like Garrett, the reason why I discovered him is like, hey, we saw him last year blowing up. We was like, who is this kid? Where did he come from? He's been there the whole time. He just wasn't out there like some of the other guys. Or Briarwood is not a program where they're advertising their guys and promoting their guys the way the current social media standards are. And I say that respectfully. So Garrett, by default, would be in this position to say, hey, here's a kid that flew under the radar. But unfortunately, some kids who are not living up to the standards of where he is right now, he will probably jump them on their recruiting board because he is just a rare generational type kid. Let me say his measurements one more time so y'all can understand how many kids you probably cannot find with these measurements that can play like him. 6'5", 285 pounds, defensive end. Look at his profile picture. That looks very scary for a high school kid. The little Timmies at quarterbacks and guys that ain't never seen nothing like that coming off the edge. You're going to be in trouble. I mean, you're going to be in big time trouble seeing a guy like that come around the edge. And some of his highlight clips kind of show that he's a force out there. And also, he's also showing you that he's very athletic. He don't just play defensive end. He can play defensive tackle if he needs to. I think there was a couple clips when I broke some of his film down. He was at DT, tight end. He's an athlete. So, man, Garrett, you definitely are elevating your status right now. I don't know what your recruit look like as far as the teams that's winding down, who you're going to decide on, but you have a lot of interest. Ooh, I see South Carolina is one of the last ones on your profile right now. I see you tweeted out. Also, you got a top 7. You got North Carolina, Stanford, Vandy, Georgia Tech, Kentucky, Mississippi State, Penn State. Those are his top 7, Smook. So right now, it's the best player right now that's been slept on. Looks like he's going to be leaving the state of Alabama to go play his college football. So let me elevate your status. But before you leave, Garrett, let's add a little bit more monetary value to your brand, is because you're not going to find too many kids outside the state of Alabama, 6'5", 285 pounds, that's doing what you're doing out there. So all of these teams that I see on your top 7, those are great places to be. So I feel like going to the best home, to the best place where they don't typically get kids like that, will probably be your best suit for you to develop and be that guy in that position. So where you can say he's the first kid that ever came through our university, or the one of a few that ever came through our university that came with these specs, and we actually elevated his play, added more pounds on him, added more of this, added more of that. We're looking at a player that's probably going to be a rare, unique player that's going to be leaving the state of Alabama, unfortunately, and I just don't know. Alabama and Auburn, I don't know how much room y'all got on y'all roster, but boy, oh boy, I don't know what went wrong in the recruitment.
Hey, hard tech.
What happened? But man, they're gonna have to add somebody. May make some room for them. Smook, what you think?
Hey, listen, they don't got me on the staff. That's what the problem is. They don't got me on the staff because I guarantee you, a lot of things that matter to these kids. It's just a different type of relatability that you could bring to it from our level. But looking at this young man, like you said, man, generational talent undercover. That South Carolina fit, like, I hate to be that guy and be like, yeah, go, but I love to be that guy because that's a perfect. You look at what they've done with the defensive end, defensive tackle, those hybrid guys in years past. Shane Beeman's defense last year with Kyle Renard, I think the kid's name was, and then they had a true freshman on the other side of him playing on the other edge. You get a guy in there like Witherington to develop. You know, you're talking about that true freshman being a junior by the time he's there on campus. That could be a solid, depth piece as a true freshman, and he's going to be ready to be a body, right? He's going to have skill sets that can provide impactful moments at the collegiate level. You don't keep 6'5", 285 or 685 at that point, 6'5", 300 plus on the sideline with that type of athleticism. You don't do that. You find him 7 to 12 reps a game to where he can go and lay on somebody or mess somebody up, be a disruption. And he has the skill set to do that. Plus, he's going to be athletic with it. So I'm telling you, man, it's one of those things, man. You never know what can happen with a kid like this. He just all of a sudden is on the radar, and now Alabama, Auburn, they're up in Briarwood, making an extra 2 or 3 visits in Birmingham this upcoming fall?
Do not let him leave the state of Alabama, because I mean, you got a kid that you look at his trajectory, look at his potential, look at his upside, look at the unique generational size that he has.
Mm-hmm.
This kid's going to be one of those guys that's going to be playing the NFL in 3 or 4 years. I mean, if he just stays the course, if he wants to play at the NFL, if he has the will to want to, he's going to be there. You just can't find guys like this. You just can't find guys like this. And for him to be doing this right now, playing high school football in 6A, I think they're 6A, they could be 5A. I'm not sure they're 6A. They always up and down. But either way, he's going to be a big-time prospect coming down the fall. I feel like if those top 7, if he has a home in mind right now, I still feel like he may do something that pique the interest of Alabama and Auburn, especially if they're talking about trying to keep all the best talent in state, man. So, Garrett, man, I know your ears are burning right now, but, man, it should be for a good cause, man, because I think highly of you. We're giving you flowers, respect what you've done thus far to elevate your status, become a 3-star, 4-star player in the state of Alabama, and people around you are probably watching you, and you got kids that's behind you, probably looking up to you to develop the same way you are or want to be just like you. I know one of the guys that we're going to talk about later on the show, Adrian DeRico, has to block your ass every damn day, and he's a class of 2028. So you're not only doing well by helping the guys, but you're also making these guys better. And I know that for a fact, because if they're having to deal with you, man, you're going to make anybody better trying to handle a 6'5", 285 high school kid right now. Man, you're making these boys work for something out there, man. That will translate well after you're gone. Those guys are going to remember what you're doing for them to help them. And I wish you well. Also, this fall as well, we wish you well, Garrett, man. So shout out to 4B, one of our top 5 players. 4B is the 4th guy on the offensive side for Briarwood. Man, great show so far, man. If y'all not tuned in right now, look at the live feed. You can find Coach Smook on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of the sites, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in live right now as we talk about these players. You can watch the live feed video.
And make sure y'all following these players too. If you really want to support, an easy way to help these guys with their value in recruiting is they're following on social media sites. We've talked about this multiple times in our interactions, myself and Alltech. So just hit these guys with a follow, even if they're not going to your team. It doesn't hurt to follow these guys, and you never know what part of what story you might be able to witness happen in real time just because you hit a follow. So support these guys with just a simple follow. It don't hurt you and it helps them. Okay, thank y'all, man.
Absolutely, man. Give everybody a follow these athletes, and I will mention, like I mentioned on the show on Sunday, defensive players are the most valued players, really and truly, outside of quarterback position. Defensive players are valued very high, especially the trench guys, defensive end, defensive tackles. Man, those guys are valued very, very high because those are just rare generational type kids with the measurements that they have nowadays and how they're moving. They're elevating their status way higher than a running back, way higher than a receiver, up there with a quarterback when it comes to a monetary value. So all you defensive guys right now, you guys are going to eat. You guys are going to eat very well, and especially my guys at the top of the food chain up there, Botany, Tank, boy, and Zion. Of course, Darian is because he's the top number 1 guy in prospect in the country. You guys are going to eat, but you defensive guys, man, these teams need to stop teams at the college level. That's their main thing. They won't win no championships unless they can stop somebody eventually. So you defensive guys, I know you guys are demanding the market right now. It's because college football is being so transparent and they're open with every other article. There's always even just today, I think it was the Will Crumpton show, Andre Pavio, whatever the guy, the quarterback from Vanderbilt, he just said straight up, there was a team trying to get him to transfer for 1 year.
Yeah.
I mean, just for 1 year, for between $4 to $4.5 million. I'm just trying to tell you, the quarterback position and defensive trench guys, those positions have extremely high value. And some of these are 1 year deals. Like, hey, we're going to pay you this up front. We want you that bad, and we're willing to pay for this. And that's where we're at right now. That's why I tell a lot of you underclassmen right now, 27s, 28s, 29s, if you are ahead of your class and you're a defensive guy, boy, it's a great time for you to be alive, boy, because the market that the guys in front of you are creating is definitely going to help you guys to be in a good position. Quarterback position won't always be there, but for you defensive trench guys, boy, some of you DBs, man, y'all boys are raising the value, man, and keep doing so because that's the way it should be. Offense is supposed to sell the tickets. The defense is supposed to win the championship. So I think a lot of programs at the highest level, high school and colleges, are starting to value. We got to have a really good defense, man, if we ever talk about being a state champion or if we talk about winning a national championship at the college level. So shout out to those guys. Next guy up, no other than Jonah Winston, a very, very popular name in this state. If you haven't heard of Jonah Winston, if you haven't heard of Jameis Winston, you may have been living under a rock or you just don't know football. It's a very strong last name in the state of Alabama right now as it pertains to football, not just in the state of Alabama, but on the national scale. Whether you like Jameis Winston or not, he is a very, very charismatic guy. He does what he needs to do to maintain his image. He has fixed his image, so he has went through the storm. Whether you hate or you love him, you got to understand this guy is doing whatever it takes to make sure he maintains his image, maintains everything he can to stay in the game. And so what? He's been here, he's been there, he's been everywhere. He's still in the league, ain't he? He's still getting paid high contracts, ain't he? So for that to be an example for Jonah Winston, to see that his older brother is setting an example through all the storms. I mean, we all know Jameis Winston has been through a lot of storms. We don't have to go down that road. But for him to go through those journeys and things like that, Jonah will definitely be one of those guys that can say, hey, I don't have to be my big brother Jameis, but I understand the hard work and dedication that it takes to be a professional at the highest level. And that's what I see from Jonah Winston. Before I bring Jonah Winston down, Coach Smook, hey, listen, Jonah Winston is a popular name by demand around here. But his game, I will say, it absolutely matches. So you cannot hate or nobody's giving Jonah Winston anything. He's actually earning everything.
100% hard take. And like you said, a lot of times people carry a name, but you don't necessarily carry the characteristics of that name. Well, this is a young man that carries both, carries the name and the characteristics. For the skill set, wide receiver can give you defensive reps, but I think he's going to find his place somewhere in somebody's wide receiver room as a slot guy. Going to put some weight on that frame. Not the biggest, not going to be the fastest, but is a solid do-it-all receiver, possession guy. You get him in open field, he can pull away from you. He just provides exactly what you need at the position. Line him up in the backfield as you see on the film. Going to provide dynamic playmaking ability. Not going to wow you with it with a 4-3 or anything like that, but literally just put the ball in his hands. Route running. Literally just going to be the player that you want. The player that you want at any skill position on either side of the ball. That's what's created value for him. Speaking with the family, man, and having that privilege of being connected to the Hoover family in general, it's a lot of kids on this roster that are severely underrated because they're not necessarily the electrifying players that we're used to seeing come from Hoover or, that get all the accolades. But you look at why Hoover has so much success is because of disciplined players like this. Guys that are going to do their job every time, every snap. You can't find a bad snap with Jonah Winston. You can't find a bad snap with their running back, Keelan Jefferson. Even what's his name? Tyson Bacon, right? Is that the last name? Tyson Bacon is. You won't find a bad snap, and usually you can find with highly touted big guys like that really dominate at their position every week in and week out. You can find the 1 or 2 bad snaps. Hoover does not. You don't see that across the board. And Jonah, he's a big catalyst in that room. A lead by example type of leader. I love his workout clips that he posts. It looks like he's going 110% every time you talk to him or ask him or look at him and evaluate his game on as far as evaluating the game of football when it comes to him. I think Jonah P. Winston is JP is really putting himself in a good position to continue to just gain more offers. Like you said, hard take. This is a hidden gem. Name wise, maybe not hidden. If you don't know football, you probably don't know the name, but a hidden gem as far as what he does on the field. And this is 7A football. Isn't Hoover 7A? Or are they 6A?
Oh no, Hoover 7A.
7A football. You're talking about last year you had, was it 43 D1 signees out of the 7A classification in Alabama? If I'm not mistaken, D1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge number in the state of Alabama. You always have our D1 AA's that fill up Alabama State, Tuskegee, AUM, A&M, North Alabama. We always have those numbers filled in the state of Alabama. But last year, in particular, the state of Alabama, from the classification of 7A, put out 41. I think it was 41 or 47. I can't remember. Somebody could fact check me. I know I don't know everything, but that's a huge number. You're going to see that increase with prospects like this.
Absolutely, man, and shout out to Jonah. I've literally seen Jonah work in person. The kid works 110%, and if anybody has seen Jonah play in person, the kid he's open almost every time when he runs route. So he's done studied the game enough, been around the game enough to know what it takes to play at the extreme high level, and I think he does that every Thursday and Friday night. So I feel like his value is still going to increase as the season goes on. I think his value increases. I think he has several offers as well. I think he's trying to narrow down as well. So Jonah, man, I think you're going to be just fine. You're in a very great situation with a lot of talent around you, so you don't have to be the guy all the time. You can definitely distribute that the ball around, have a lot of help around you. But when your number is called, expect Jonah Winston to make a play. Expect him to do something to give his team a little bit of motivation. And those quarterbacks, I promise you, every quarterback that's at Hoover right now definitely knows. They definitely know what Jonah Winston is on the field and how open he can make himself by him just being a student of the game and preparing in that same capacity. Like I said, I've seen him work in real time. So he is a worker. He does not take no days off, and he takes this stuff very seriously. And that's what any kid in the state of Alabama playing at the highest level, you should take this game that serious, because at college, everybody is taking it serious. Nobody is taking a day off, especially if you're trying to see the field. And I feel like Jonah Winston is setting himself up to be one of those guys that can contribute on Saturdays a whole lot sooner than later, man. So shout out to Jonah Winston. 5B. I went a little deeper on this list. I kind of went with 2 offensive players and 2 defensive players, just because trying to make the 5 in that 5th spot is just too many guys to not put on that list. And the next guy I have up on this list is another kid from Central Phoenix City, because Central Phoenix City, outside of Thompson, man, Central Phoenix City is the only one that's in the state championship game consistently enough to say, hey, we made it. We survived our gauntlet, our region, which Region 2, everybody knows. If you can make it up out of Region 2, you can make it up out of anywhere. But the problem is that every time Region 2 makes it up out of there, they just be so beat up from their season that they had with their own region, and then trying to survive in the playoffs. Boy, they out of steam. They out of steam 9 times out of 10 in the state championship game. And I think that's what happened to them last year. Not only did they have to play a very tough region, they had a very brutal road. I'm talking about a brutal road to get to the state championship game, because the last game that they played a very, very gritty Hoover team to get to the state championship after Hoover had beat a very, very physical Opelika team. So Hoover was a little beat up. They played another beat up team. So it just always tells you the winner of Region 2, hear what I say, Coach Smook, the Region 2, they got to learn how to figure out how to stay healthy for 15 games now, because that seems to be their Achilles heel. If they're decent, they got a chance. They got to have some good talent on the team like Cam Coleman and such. But when they make it to the state championship game, man, it seems like their physicality has worn on them. Is that what you're taking? But with Tristan, he's been around for 3-4 years now with this Central team. So if anything, Tristan will be a leader. He will have to be a vocal leader, physical leader for that defense, because he's standing out as a 4-star. They elevated this young man. He's a 4-star edge outside linebacker right now. What do you know about it?
This is something that I stumbled upon like early last year when I was coming onto the scene. I really tapped into all of the talent that literally is at hand in East Alabama area. Coach Spivey, shout out Carlton Spivey. He's over at Russell County, assistant Coach Dylan Griggs at Russell County High School. He had a hand in really pointing me in the right direction with all of the young talent that I used to literally be on the other side of the gate watching as they were Little League, and kind of where everybody got spread out to. And Tristan was one of the first names. The Lyles kid was one of the first names that I asked about. Found out he was at Central and just started catching up with him. And to see his development from last year in February to now, skill just mechanics wise, it was never the motor, it was never the athleticism. The mechanics is the small things that he wanted to critique so that he can really start to gain exposure, because Central is going to be scattered. I mean, full of talent across their front. They're going to have offensive linemen. You saw Mal Wardrop commit from that class last year to Alabama. So you see Tristan's stock continuing to grow. Now, and I'm gonna pull the film up because we talked about athletic edge guys. We talked about the linebackers. Tristan was a lot of his backlash was that he was quote unquote undersized. And I was trying to remind people that the film that you were watching last year was him as a sophomore. You're talking about a young man that was, I think, third on the team his sophomore year for tackle for losses, fourth on the team in total tackles as a sophomore, then turns around his junior year, and I think he's the second leading, the number one tackle for loss at Central, if I'm not mistaken. And then right up there in the top three as far as tackles. So a guy that can move around on the field, playing with his hand in the ground, or he can stand up on the edge. I even think Tristan's athletic enough. If you're talking about playing traditional linebacker, put him in the middle of your defense. He's smart enough. You don't see him get beat on any backside cuts or backside containment. He's just a complete defensive end edge linebacker type of body that you want on your roster at the next level. Let me pull this film up right here. Got the huddle up. Just explosive. Not the speed you're going to not the natural speed you're going to see at the edge position. It's different speed for the edge position at his size. Very skilled with the ball in his hand. The kid is a natural athlete, man, and really going to be a high commodity as this 26 class continues to. Alabama has put him on the radar. It was a name that I started to see come up on the boards for in-state guys that we can start targeting. Maybe a late push is not going to garner his attention as much. With Auburn, Auburn's been heavy on him. And I look at the skill sets. As much as I'm a Bama fan, I could see Tristan. Look at him, man. Just look at how he comes off the edge. You've seen guys like this come to Auburn and excel. So it wouldn't be crazy to see him be that type of fit. But right now, I just text Pops and told him we was talking about him. They're on the way to Cincinnati right now. So that just tells you how much his stock is starting to grow with his perspective profile is starting to grow. And then just overall, man, good kid. Like you said, I think this year is going to be a year where he wants to step up and become more of a vocal leader. He's always just been a get-to-it type of business type of kid, a baseball kid. So mentally, he knows how to approach the game from a different aspect. I think this is going to be a crazy good year for Tristan and the Red Devils in general.
I did an edit on Tristan early in the year. Everything that you said about him was absolutely true. He is a dog. I mean, put him anywhere on the field when he's hungry. This kid's gonna go eat. It don't matter where you put him at. And I had the honor to meet him, his father, and his younger brother. Great family, his mother. They're a great family. So when you add all that into what type of player he is, it translates very well to the next level. The kid's gonna do his job. He's been raised right. Everything that you want in a player, you're going to get it with Tristan Lyles. Not only that, he's productive on the field. We're talking about 84 tackles, 16 sacks. I mean, he's out there.
That's crazy. 16 sacks at the Alabama 7A level. As much passing that we've seen offenses adapt in the past 5 to 6 years. Hard take. And this it's crazy to be able to get to the quarterback at that level. I mean, you got to have other assets on your defense. We know Central has talent, but to be the guy that's getting there and finishing, you know how many broken tackles are made by these crazy athletic quarterbacks at the 7A level? How many plays are created? You're not creating no plays when Tristan got his hands on you.
Absolutely not. It shows you 33 tackles for loss and 22 hurries. I think that shows you when he's back there, you better make some decisions fast, quarterback. So whatever you're doing, he's not back in the backfield playing around. And if you look at one of the edits that I did, I looked at some of that when I was breaking down this field. I was like, I don't know which clips to put because they're all so. But I find so.
Don't you hate that, bro? I ran into that problem with Bryson last year trying to get this doggone documentary. I was like, man, what is up, man? Like, I only got 3 minutes. Let me make it easier for me some type of way, man. But I get you with Tristan, man. That kid is different, bro. He's different, and it's crazy that he's not that 4-star, 5-star talent already. I mean, that high-end 4-star, that 5-star. It's crazy that he wasn't getting those ratings, all because of his size. You take away the measurables, look at the numbers. If anything, just look at the numbers. Look at the classification. Look at the skill sets that's coming out of that past Central, that just come out of that 7A class in general. he's going up against that week in and week out, and then out of state competition, he's productive. So I mean, it's crazy to see how these evaluation services do things at the same time. Though it's also inspirational to see guys continue to work through it and their value be discovered.
Absolutely, man. And guys like Tristan, man, just keep working because your film is speaking volume. You know, we don't look at the size, we look at the production. I think Aaron Donald was a successful defensive player in the NFL at the size he was. So I always say, if you're 6'6", if you're a dominant player at your position, man, it'll rule out. It'll overrule all the other stuff that they're saying that you can't do this, you can't do that. Just let the production speak for itself, man. And like I said, the videos that I have of him, the things that I see him, I mean, he is definitely worthy of all the offers that he's received and all the attention that he's getting as well.
Right.
If he stays the course, he just stays the course, man, he's gonna elevate his status. And Central keeps winning, for sure. That means more camera time, more exposure. So I can see him probably picking up more interest as Central season continues to go on, especially if they play another 15 games, man. I think he can definitely elevate his status.
Imagine a 20 plus sack season. I mean, 16 last year, right? Wasn't it 16? That's 16. And you can't double him because if you double him, they got two other guys on the other side of the defensive line that you're going to open up. So, offensive lines, it's a team in Gainesville, Georgia. They have a crazy defensive front. Their front seven is, I think, 4 out of the 7 are D1 commits right now. Are D1 commits. 2 of them to Alabama. Xavier Griffin is in that room, a 5-star linebacker. He's trending towards Alabama. All 3 of those guys are on the same defense in Gainesville. Central and Thompson, and even I would even say this year up at Parker, they house those type of defenses. So Central it's going to be interesting. I know right there in the area in the region, Auburn's looking good. Like they revamped their roster with getting some guys in some incoming transfers and then some younger guys stepping up. But I just don't think you're going to have the type of quality depth and talent that you see at Central in a lot of these regions, man. And a guy like Tristan, he really going to benefit this year.
Absolutely. That's a fair assessment, man. So the defense over at Central right now, y'all boys should be locked in. Very, very good and very competitive. So that's what we're looking forward to seeing from you guys, especially adding in elements with Brennan Core. I think they got a good secondary coming in. Big Jatori Williams in front.
Yeah.
They got a lot coming up over at Central. So Tristan, you're a defensive guy. You're going to lead that defensive charge as a leader. I know those young kids are going to be looking up for you as far as leadership. So, man, let that be another lesson to add more value to your game. So, Tristan, we think highly of you. Just keep doing what you're supposed to do. I think you will help your team again. And as long as that film keep looking the way it's looking right now, what you have, you well on your way to be playing somewhere on Saturdays. Hopefully, man, you can find your decision, man, make it the best place ever. But we're definitely supportive of you, Tristan, man. So just keep doing what you do. You've elevated your status, man. You're one of the top players, non-committed in the state of Alabama, in our opinion, man. So
facts. Hey, shout out to Keani Peekaboo Snipes, man. If you all haven't been following this young man, it's an exciting journey to follow. That stock is we're starting to see him garner that attention, man. I'm excited for this young man. Came through on the YouTube side to check in. Left a comment, said a name buzzing in the state of Alabama, around the state of Alabama. Keani Peekaboo Snipes, man. We've had a few conversations and interactions. This young man, he's he give me Kool-Aid McKinstry type vibes with his persona and how he presents himself, man. Never is going to doubt himself on the field, and I love that. I love that for any athlete, especially when you could do it in the right. You carry it with the right energy. You're not cocky. You're just confident enough because you're putting the work in, and he's putting the work in, and it's showing with his current prospective profile beginning to grow. But shout out to him for pulling up Hard Tech. I know he wanted to give you a shout out too, man. So shout out to everybody that's pulling up, all of the student athletes that's pulling up, all the prospects that's pulling up and supporting this content. That myself, Hard Tech, and some of the other collaborators in the chat that are supporting, sharing the live streams and the content, the spaces. We greatly appreciate it here. But go ahead, Hard Tech. We left off with Tristan, man.
Yeah, man. Well, Tristan, like I said, man, he definitely is well on his way. We definitely gonna be supportive of him. But shout out to Peekaboo, man. We love Peekaboo, man. Peekaboo has earned his stripes out here. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's out there representing his game, branding himself, doing whatever it takes to physical. So he is being a role model for the future generation and future classes of how you let everything be balanced out. Don't put one thing ahead of other. You balance this thing out, man, and you can be very successful. And I feel like Peekaboo is going to be the head of his class. He's definitely going to represent the 28 defensive guys in the 28 class. He has elevated his status as we speak. So as time goes by, over the next couple of years, he too will be just like the Tank Jones, the Rodney Cleveland's. Status will be through the roof. It's because he's done it for himself. He's put himself in situations to where he can elevate his status and also elevate his monetary value in this business. And schools love that. I mean, they love a kid that already come prepared, and they don't want to have to do no extra work or use additional resources to prepare you. So I think Peekaboo, he will definitely be prepared. He got a great system around him, great parents. Everything that he's doing right now is a positive vibe. So I think Peekaboo, he will be in a great situation, and he too will be one of those 3, 4, 5 guys. Probably it'll be high by the end. So maybe a 4, 5, 6 guy. How much they're worth in the millions, that is, when it's time for them to sign on that dotted line. Just because the climate of the game, man, they very much so value those defensive players. On to the list. We on to the next guy. Next guy up is Ethan Ridley. This kid here has been growing on me all year long. I've been telling people about him, following this kid around, seeing everything that he's doing. He has flown under the radar, but I think he's starting to make some noise now. People are starting to take notice of a kid that's 6'2", 180 pounds, very rangy DB. Saw him in action, saw him for the first time over at spring practice a couple weeks ago over at Hewitt-Trussville. Very impressed with his style, very impressed with his body frame, very impressed with his movement at that size as a DB. So Smook, man, listen, it's another one of those kids. This kid's gonna pop, man. I think he is emergent. Just picked up an offer from North Alabama, and I think Troy as a recent. So he will be a prospect that I feel like can gain more interest as the season goes on. If he hasn't locked in by the time the season starts, I think he could possibly gain more interest, because at 6'2", 180 pounds, by far, you're one of the tallest DBs out in the country right now, because most DBs are typically between 5'9", 5'10". Some of them are barely 6 foot. So Smook, right out the gate, you got a bigger DB right now that you can see them add 10, 15 pounds on him at the next level, and he's moving something. He runs the 100-meter, 200-meter long jump, and I think triple jump. So you're dealing with a very athletic 6'2", rangy DB that could easily translate more weight and still keep the speed and potential. So what's your take on it? I know I dropped this one on you new at the last minute, but I think it's a good prospect for you to look at, because, hey, how many 6'2" DBs do we have in the state of Alabama? I can't count more than 5. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, but that's in high demand right now. That's 6'1" plus 6'2" plus DB that can really get downfield. You talking about right now at the DB level, because of the vertical passing concept, you're seeing more of your lockdown jam in your face corners get slid to that nickel corner position, strong safety. You see them getting pushed to the safety position because they're more sure tacklers. You want those guys in the middle of the field. They're able to get left and right lateral. You're starting to see those rangy guys push to the boundary. You look at, and I always, because I'm always around it, I look at Alabama. Dijon Lee, 5-star cornerback commit that just signed with the 25 class. He's at Alabama as a true freshman. As productive as that freshman group was last year, Xavier Brown, 6'2". Damani Jackson, 6'3". Who else was at corner in that room last year? You got Deshaun Jones. He's a 6'1" corner in that room. You know, and then you turn around, you get guys like Jalen Bakwe is probably your shorter guy. He's 5'11", right? But all your other DBs are 6 foot plus. You look at this class, Chuck McDonald from Mater Dei in California, 6'2", 6'3". Dijon Lee, 6'4 and a half, 6'5", 200. You look at Ethan Ridley, range. You talk about the natural speed. Guys like that who have long arms, 6'4", 6'5", wingspan at that 6'2" height, already has a good medium frame, build frame, not too slender, right? You're going to be able to pack, like you said, pack 15, 20 pounds of muscle onto that frame, and going to be a guy in open field that can tackle on the boundary, not scared to seal the edge, and can go up and attack the ball. Has receiver-like hands when attacking the ball. Going to be able to do some dynamic things when he has the ball in his hand. Can be a solid special teams asset as he develops as a freshman. Coming from Hewitt-Trussville, you know Malachi Moore, coming from that same program. This is a program that translates athletes to the next level very well. just by how they handle things professionally, right? Going to see this guy's stock grow as he continues to advance, man. And my thing with him, man, this is a play right here. To come up and make a sure tackle, a lot of people want to try to make a big hit there, and you end up hurting yourself, or you do something that you allow the tight end to make a bigger play than what's already been made. To have the discipline to come up and just secure this tackle and wrap up and make sure you form tackle, you protect yourself, you get up, and then you come out later in this same drive and you make a bigger play. Like, that's the small things you see with guys who are, quote unquote underrated. Sure tackler too, man. I think more so the mechanics right now is just him getting some skills training to work on those twitch type motions, getting out of those breaks and cuts a little bit quicker. But other than that, man, it's technically sound everywhere else.
Absolutely, and I think he's actually in the lab working with one of the best trainers in the state in Birmingham is C.D. Daniels, who's definitely working with him, fine-tune all those things. But Ethan really will jump on some boards. I think he will. His film is crazy. He got crazy instincts. His instinctive ability to be around the ball, be at the right place at the right time. Man, he is very, very instinctive. His film, when you see his film, you'll see that pop out on it. And I think that's one of the things I can easily tell to most college coaches. If you want a guy that's just instinctively understanding where to be at and physical at 6'2", 180 plus pounds, that's the guy that you will want on your team. And you know that he's actually running track and all of this at that size. Most guys, man, they're striders, or they have an ability to cover a lot of ground. And that's what I see with Ethan as over time. I think he'll be able to display that this fall and actually show that with Hewitt-Trussville with their defensive things that they do on the defensive side over there. But overall, I think Ethan Ridley, you definitely are trending upward. You definitely have the size. And back in the day, LSU, they would only recruit guys that were better. They're still trying to replace Patrick Peterson's aura.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I've said that about Bama too. I think Bama's been trying to find Minka Fitzpatrick, since he's left. I really do, because he was the one that, no matter what went down in your secondary, you knew you had a replacement on that field. Him and guys that couldn't do what he did, you were able to put them in spots where they were comfortable because of guys like him. And when you get 2 or 3 guys like that in your secondary, Ethan Ridley is one of those guys, man. He might not be the best corner or the best cover safety, but he does both so good that, you keep him on the field, and when somebody falls out of place, you're not worried about any drop off or anything. He's productive any spot in that secondary. I honestly believe he might have a little bit more success playing more of a nickel corner style, and a position as far as coverage. But like you said, man, that recovery speed, the ability to get in that stride, it doesn't look fast, but he covers so much ground so quickly that you see type of production like you saw with Eddie Jackson when he played corner at Alabama. So I'm excited to see what Ethan and like you said, you kind of dropped this one on, but to kind of find out, this young man we have been interacting through other posts and things. So I'm excited to see this. I'm excited to see this develop and all this a lot more closely throughout this senior year.
Absolutely. And Ethan really, man, Darius Slay would be a good comparison, I would say.
Yeah.
As far as him, he reminds me of Darius Slay. I'm connected with Darius Slay on so many levels. We had a mutual friend who passed away last year due to a house fire. So whenever I think of Ethan really, he reminds me of Darius Slay. It's because Darius Slay has that frame. They have the same frame. And Darius Slay is a winner out here. Believe me, go check his film. He's actually a Super Bowl winner as well. So that's a great comparison. But I feel like Ethan's game, because of the range of the way he is, he definitely could be one of the guys that can easily jump on some boards going into the fall, especially with a few more camps and camp season. July and August, and I would say September will be a busy month of guys, college coaches probably trying to find guys like Ethan. And easily, with us talking about him, us sharing his content, and him doing the work himself and putting himself out there, I think he will elevate his status, man. So, Ethan, you're already doing what it takes to put yourself out there and get yourself in the right position. And I think your game, training, all that aligning as well. So, Ethan Ridley would be one of those guys that we're going to be following up with, checking out this fall. But at 6'2", 180 pounds, which we know he can move because he's a track star at the same time. If he grows another inch, he gains more weight. So you're looking at a potential 6'3", 195-pound defensive back, 200-pound fluctuate between the two. Man, you're talking about a very dangerous weapon right there. You're talking about value as a defensive back. Man, we add to his bag right now, man. We add to this man's bag. Listen, Ethan, your ears is burning, but your pocket's gonna get swollen, man, because if you continue at this rate and you shut down people at 7A football at Hewitt-Trussville, where you're gonna get a lot of pass attempts in Region 3. You got Hoover, Thompson, Vestavia Hills, Prattville. You're gonna get your chance to get some great film against coverages, against great quarterbacks and great coaches. So I think that alone too will add to his status. So man, I expect Ethan really to blow up a little bit more, especially being a 6'2" defensive back in the state of Alabama, where our defensive backs are just not that tall here. And for him to be that tall and be of that range, he's standing out right now. So
100%, man.
Next player up, man. Great show so far, man. Right now, if y'all haven't followed us on Twitter, go to YouTube, catch Coach Smook on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and everywhere else he's streaming right now, man. We're seeing the numbers go up, and we're impressed with everybody tuning in because this show is transforming and changing the landscape of high school football by giving these kids more exposure, more camera time, and we're trying to help some of these high school coaches, man, because we know their job is hard anyway. They have a life at home sometimes, and sometimes they can't do it all, but hey, that's where me and Coach Smook come in handy, man, because we got y'all back, and we got y'all parents back as well for talking about y'all boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like he said, don't forget to follow these young men that we're featuring. We're going to continue to feature every week, Tuesday and Thursdays. You'll see some more personalities and analysts, people that really are impacting the game as far as recruiting and helping these young men and young women get exposure at the next level. It's not stopping just at football. So for the baseball and the basketball parents, we are Coach Smook Network and some of the other around the state. We're going to be launching this for those sports too. But right now, we know football is a hot commodity in the state, in the South, and we want to take advantage of it and not fall behind the power curve with our in-state young men. I talked to so many kids in Arizona and California that already have a representation and consultation setting set up. They're going to different seminars for professional athlete training and marketing type of seminars. So we have that in the state of Alabama. Coach L did a program, I want to say about a month ago now, where the athletes came in and they were just basically educating them on the landscape of college football and recruiting and how you create value for yourself outside of the workouts, outside of the classroom. Just things that just you need to be educated on. And myself, Hall Tech Sports, Coach Stan, a lot of the coaches that's a part of these staffs that can't step out in this space and say some of the things that they should be saying. We are being the mouthpiece for that, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So if you're in support of that, just continue to subscribe, like, follow all the platforms that you see actively engaged in pushing this narrative and pushing this vision. But Hall Tech, we got one more, man, and I've been trying to hold my horses to talk about this young man because I'm very, very close with his family coming out of Valley, and the fact that he is one of the top prospects in this state. I look at the film. He played like his cousin or his uncle, one of them. We played together for semi-pro a few years back, but he told me then in 2018, he said, "Watch out for a youngin, Kaden Foreman. Watch out for him. If we can keep him in state, he's gonna be one of the top prospects in the state of Alabama. If we can keep him in the state." And here he is in the state, and you have him on the list. Hall Tech, go ahead and take it away. Talk about Kaden Foreman, brother.
Man, listen, backstory, man. A lot of these kids that I know, there's a backstory, or I've heard something about the kid that made me very interested and intrigued into the game or what they're doing. But Kaden's story is very unique to me. You know, I have a mutual friend who's into a lot of things that I do, and we've been friends for a few years now, helping kids from the Valley area gain exposure, helping the kids in that area become something, you know, get their name out there, you know, do what we naturally do.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Mr. Brown, man, Mr. Brown out in Valley. Shout out to our law enforcement out here, our state troopers, things like that, man.
Officer Brown.
Officer Brown. You know how small.
Yeah. I was about to say is a little what we call them down in the city, but we ain't gonna do that.
but you know, like I said, love. I try to keep people's identity, safe and stuff like that, but I also acknowledge their careers and things of law enforcement, because we all, we show love to our people, our service people who do everything for our communities. The special, the paramedics, anybody that has anything to do with your overall health and well-being and safety, man. We have to show a lot of respect to our people, men and women who dedicate their lives to protect us and things like that. So when I get approached by certain people in certain situations and they tell me about who they are and what they do, man, you got to reciprocate that sometime, man. In my line of work, there's good people out there that's protecting our safety, such as law enforcement or medical field or whatever the case may be. I understand they're already doing enough. And that's kind of how this situation came about. He was originally at Beauregard.
Yep.
And situation was not the greatest. As we all know, high school football nowadays, there's a lot of situations not the greatest. So you have to find out what's the best interest of you, your family, your team, or whatever it is that you want to do. And I think Kaden found a home. I hope that he has found his home, because I see a lot of great results of what he's doing at Valley. He is 6'1", 191. Who just fell out of thin air for Valley in the last 3 games of his season last year. Of course, he transferred mid-season, so he wasn't allowed to play in a few games, but once he did, able to hit the field, the kid played through 3 games. He was 30 of 50, 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, 60% passer rate, and 108 QBR rating. Smook, this guy is looking like he is ready to play some football for Valley going into his senior campaign. And he has gotten offers from Boston College and a few other schools since the move last mid-season from Beauregard to Valley. So what is your assessment of him? Because I only know him from the outside, but you seem to know him from the inside, Coach. So tell me a little bit, Kate.
Well, it's more so just having that association of playing with, and I think it's his. I'm trying to text his. Is either his cousin or his uncle playing with him, and just having that awareness of who he was coming up in the area. And we heard about the controversy at Beauregard. Why is he not playing? What's the situation? And I don't care to get into that, but you look at him, and I have his film up. The limited amount of highlights we have, and this is him at Beauregard last year, I believe. These are early season highlights from him at Beauregard. Limited with what was available around him as far as skill set, weapons available to throw to, but the young man creates plays. And I think at Valley, which is an area right there next to Opelika, right there next to Auburn, LaGrange, all of that area, that's where you get your scattered talent. Troup County, all of those schools, they kind of, it's hard to keep all the good ones together. Well, Valley in the past few years, they've been pulling onesies and twosies here. They had some cousins there last year, 2 years ago, I believe, or last year. And I mean, these young men are starting to understand. All right, let's hone this thing in. Let's hone this thing in. He's part of that group, and a name that's been known locally, right? You've always wondered why hasn't he popped yet. We see it happening. Boston College will be a crazy good fit for him. I know Bama fans, we didn't like Bill O'Brien but that offense last year at Boston College. Look at what Kaden does. He's not going to do the mechanics at the quarterback position. He's not a mechanical quarterback. Like, he's a natural athlete playing quarterback that if you can get him in a system that fits his skill sets, he'll develop, and those mechanics will naturally start to increase, and you'll see his game translate to the collegiate level very well. Systems like what you seen at Boston College, Vanderbilt. He can even go to a school like Army and run that style of spread option and be effective, because he is not just a running quarterback. He's just an athletic quarterback. You put him in the right situation, he's going to make the right decision 9 times out of 10. And a natural athlete. I think now he's more so getting honed in training. I'm hearing that he's getting some off-season training, development training at the quarterback position to work on those mechanics. That's going to help him shore up that accuracy, that deep ball accuracy, because he has a strong arm, but his mechanics could get away from him with his feet a little bit every now and then. I think now, putting that time in his offseason, being surrounded with some more weapons at Valley, we're going to see his stock continue to drive, man. I'm excited about all these players, and I know it sounds repetitive what I'm saying, but you're talking about, I'm a stickler when it comes to evaluating certain positions: quarterback, wide receiver, and defensive back. When I look at him and I look at those feet, I want to fuss at him every time, but then I look at the ball that's coming from that rep, And I'm like, how in the world is it there? And it's natural arm strength, it's natural athleticism, it's just a keen sense of how to release the ball. You get the small things fixed. This is a top tier quarterback that down the line, you might see him in the portal 2 or 3 years from now, just from having a late recruiting start. You might see him in the portal as Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, LSU fighting over a prospect like this in 2 years.
Absolutely. Easy to see. 6'1", 191, growing still. I don't think he's finished growing. Also, 3.9 GPA. This kid is book smart. Like, he is really understanding the assignment. Also, you give this kid the playbook, he's going to master it. He's going to learn it. He's going to understand it. Understand the concepts. Understand the situation. He displays all those things that I see from him. And also, he's been waiting. I'm pretty sure he's been waiting for his chance to go in and just say, hey, look, I'm that guy. I've been waiting for my time. I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I think the time is now for Kaden to actually elevate his game. And also, you look at his last 3 games, he was very efficient. 60% completion rate and 108 QBR. So his last, 50 throws, passing attempts have been very, very critical for his growth and development. So he transferred to that team on the back end, but was still kind of highly productive considering how his numbers look. And he has probably one of the guys that's already, like I said, already received an offer from Boston College. Boston College does not come down here and offer a kid unless they seen something in you to say, hey, everything that he does, his tendencies, it allows for what we do. So I think that's something that speaks volume to you, Kaden. I mean, you already are ahead of your class right now as far as being the guys receiving, outside offers of the state of Alabama. That's definitely a big one. And it also has helped your recruiting as well, because now more people know you and kind of identify you is because of what you've accomplished.
Right.
So I think you just keep doing what you do, Kaden. You got great size. You got the book smarts. You have literally everything going for you. Now you got a whole senior season. This is where you go eat, Kaden. This is where you really earn all the strife that you put out for it right now. I can really see that right now easily. Go ahead.
Hey, Trey, and last thing, you said something about Boston College. Bill O'Brien has been targeting a few southeastern quarterbacks that he's been kind of targeted since his tenure at Alabama. There were some kids that he was finding interest in during that Bryce Young era when he was the OC, and they were coming and camping as 6th and 7th graders, right? And I don't know if Kaden was in that group, but in searching in this area, it wouldn't be crazy for him to come across the storyline with Kaden, because if you all followed high school football last year, especially in the central East Alabama area, this regions down here, that was a big storyline. Why is he not playing? Why is he not the guy? It's clear. It was literally a battle on Facebook between a Central High School alumnus and an Opelika alumnus, and they were arguing about, they were going at each other, making the same point about why Kaden should be starting for Beauregard. And so it was crazy to see that whole storyline play out, but I love his opportunity he has. And like you said, man, Boston College is not coming down here just for, they were looking for something. They ran across this young man and they felt like it was important to get his attention to say, hey, if you don't start to gather interest like we expect you to down here, just know we got some interest in you at Boston College.
And absolutely, and I feel like if everything goes well, he just performs well, I would want to see a kid like Kaden up at Boston College performing at a high level.
100%.
Giving Alabama high school football great looks just because of the level of play he's taken outside the state. And I think that could possibly happen. So, man, look, I'm thrilled to know that we're in the situation that we are with so much talent, like Kaden just floating around, waiting for opportunities to be exposed and actually the opportunity to play at the next level, man. And we're going to do our part, keep doing our part to elevate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next player, another kid from Valley. I mean, I put those guys back to back because that's an offensive player. And you can say a defensive player because Aiden Johnson is right at 5 foot, 175 pounds. I did see him potentially being a receiver or a DB. I can see him doing both. So I'm very interested in seeing how this plays out or what he does for this team. I know he'll probably be Kaden's number one prospect as far as receiver-wise, but he seems to have everything that he needs on it. I'm looking at his profile. Do you know Aiden Johnson, Coach? It looks like he.
My fault. I'm not familiar with the name. But just looking at, I think he's made a transfer from Opelika High School, maybe. Looking at some of his highlights from, I want to say this is his sophomore year. Was he at Opelika? No, this is still Valley. Has a few offers. We scrolling down the page right now. And this was a late add on. I don't know if y'all seen the one of the. This is going to be one of the guys that we're really going to be breaking down in Thursday's episode. Aiden Johnson, who's been gaining some attention. But I'm gonna pull his highlights up, and I'm gonna show you like this dude. He's a dude, man. Like I told you, Valley's sneaky, man. They've been doing it for the past 3 or 4 years, man. And this is another one. I'm gonna put it on the screen, man. I mean, yeah, bro.
They got guys over there, man. And like I said, I mean, if this is what Valley is doing this year, I fully expect Valley to play off the team. That's not a stretch, man. That is definitely not a stretch.
How did he get behind the defense like that, though? 96-yard touchdown pass.
Unreal.
I mean, the ref is in the way at this point. Like, yeah, looks like a burner though. I wonder what his 40 is, man. He has natural, that on the in-game speed is different. The elusiveness is there. I like it. I like it. His relentless. Oh, nice. Oh, nice release. I like that. Nice box release on that. Getting that shoulder pad level. I'm looking at his film, y'all. Getting him in motion. Clearly a mismatch problem. Oh, good hard step inside. Come on, quarterback. You got to get that high and outside. Get him in stride. Great catch, though.
He's at 5'10", 175 pounds. You got a little bit of weight right there, but of course he needs to be at that receiver position. Yeah, that's about right. But
yeah,
I'll add about 10, 15 pounds too, and still got to move fast. So
right.
Can he do it? That's the challenge.
And you saw guys like Devontae Smith at Bama, who to me, you're not getting that type of route running ability out of Aiden Johnson that you saw with Devontae Smith, and that's been his thing. That's what has Devontae Smith's stock so high coming out of high school. You gotta, just a route running athlete, and Smitty was a slick, a 4.43, 4.44 type guy, 4.45 type guy. So Aiden Johnson, probably a 4.5 guy. I'm looking at his game speed though, natural ability to make plays, strong runner after the catch. Is going to be a guy got a small running back type frame. If he matches that physicality with the frame, then you make up for not being 185, 190 playing that slot position, right? Your physicality sets a different tone. You get Jalen Waddle type stuff, who played at the 175 weight all through his time at collegiate ball. But you don't have that electrifying speed, but you're sure-handed. You got catch radius is there. You could throw him a jump ball at 5'10", pushing that 6-foot clip. You create some mismatch problems with his skill set, man. I like what I'm seeing right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's going to be just fine, man. Like I said, he's going to contribute. And I think Valley, they got another weapon. Caden going to have somebody to throw the ball to. Even if other guys double team, I think they got enough receivers to where a lot of these kids going to get playing time. And a lot of them going to be pretty well off in the position to succeed. So I feel like Aiden, you got a great thing ahead of you right now. I think you just apply yourself and keep doing what you naturally do. You're going to be just fine as well.
Do you we were talking about a prospect last year, TK Norman out of Carver. He's over at where TK go? A&M, right?
A&M, he did.
Yeah, and I look at what Aiden is doing. I get TK type feels because TK is a lot more explosive than what the numbers will say, right? And you turn on the film, a lot of the releases. I'm looking at the releases here. The way he attacks the ball on his in-breaking routes, coming back to the ball, like this is a solid prospect, man. For the wide receiver position, I think he has a high upside at the wide receiver position, getting looks at the wide receiver position. Maybe not a day one starter or impact player, rotational guy, development, frame, and all of that, filling his body out. But I think he's a good special team asset, elusive with the ball in his hand, man. Very elusive. I like him, man. Aiden Johnson, you solid, man. We're definitely gonna be making a few trips to Valley this season.
I told the people at Valley, man, I got to come out there. I'm talking about them all year. And I said, man, I'm going to take a trip. I've never been a day in my life to Valley, Alabama. But I plan on coming out there, man, just to be supportive of those young men.
Come on to East Alabama.
Yeah, I'm coming on out there. So before we do that, we got to take a trip down south. Jameson Roberts.
Yeah.
27 quarterback from Saraland. As I got on the show, I just saw that they posted they won a 7-on-7 tournament down in South Alabama. So
yeah.
Jameson Roberts will be taking over from where KJ Lacey left off. And for the ones that saw it earlier this year, I don't think he's too far removed from being as advanced as KJ was. I think he has all the resources to be able to be great. I think his school is allowing him to be great. And Coach Kelly too, man. Coach Kelly is a quarterback himself. He understands the value of having a great system in place and where everybody follows to compete and win a possible championship. They've done that before. It's been very hard for them to get back in there and win it again. Is because some teams just got better as well, the same way they did. So Jameson, I think Jameson will be just fine at the quarterback position. He has a great frame. Tall kid too. I think he's about 6'3"-ish. Very tall, can swing the ball very well. Great pocket presence. I think he's going to do well when it comes down to getting his team prepared to play. I don't think Coach Kelly's going to put too much on his plate that he can't carry. So I fully expect Jameson to be in the best position to throw the ball around. Are you sensing that as well, Smook?
Hey, man, I honestly think he's going to see somewhat of a ascension in his recruitment that Keelan Russell saw for Alabama. You see a guy just kind of developing on the back end, playing for a quality program. Probably not the feature guy yet because it's not his time. Well, it was opposite for Keelan Russell. He was a starting quarterback for 3 years. He started full-time starter for 3 years at Duncanville in Texas. Jameson Roberts, we know what's come out of Saraland the past 3 years, right? What's traditionally come out of Saraland over the past 15, 20 plus years. So not a surprise to see this, but I'm just looking at the workout clips, man. And the thing is that natural, unorthodox release and throwing motion, off platform, natural movement, fluidity in his release, different release angles. The prospect, he already tore it up at I want to say, and I'm looking at South Alabama's camp. They just won that today, but I think it was Auburn's camp last week when he really made some noise. And the young man the arm is there, chat. I talk about deep ball. That's my favorite thing. I love to see my receivers get a blur every now and then, but the accuracy on the deep ball is key in doing that and providing those moments. Bryson Riggins is somebody that I'm going to continue to holler from the rooftops. Best deep ball in the state of Alabama right now. I don't care what class you talk about. I talk about young man earlier today. This young man right here, Jameson Roberts. Go and turn on the highlights that you can get. He layers the deep ball so well. To not have as many reps as some of the other quarterbacks in his state, he layers the deep ball so well, man, and he has a lot of speed at the receiver position in Saraland. It's going to be an awesome first year, full-time starting year for him. A lot of his stats are going to exceed the clip of what you expect for a first-year starter because of what he has coming back around him, all the assets around him. So I'm excited to see Jameson Roberts develop. Like I said, their release, the angles, footwork is there. He's just been climbing the charts the last 3 or 4 weeks with the off-season camps and 7-on-7, just building value for himself, man.
Absolutely, man. I'm wishing him well. We're definitely going to be looking out for Jameson Roberts. Like I said, he's picking up where KJ Lacey left off, and those are big shoes to fill. So we're not putting too much pressure on him to go out and lead Saraland to a state championship, but we do know the tendencies can do it. It can happen at a place like Saraland. So I expect him to compete at a high level and perform at a high level with all the weapons that he has around him. Shout out to Yalen Lee, a young kid, young 28 running back.
Yeah.
And also Deshaun Spencer, man, who's having a heck of an offseason as well. Last guy on the list tonight, offensive lineman. We spoke earlier about defensive lineman for Briarwood. Now this is an offensive lineman. Adrian Dorico, generational type talent kid, 6'6", 323 pounds, offensive lineman, 82.5 inch wingspan. This kid is very smart. 4.4 GPA, 4.49 GPA. May I add? 10+ inch hands. He is a beast out there, man. This kid's elevating his status. Definitely one of the top offensive linemen in the state of Alabama as we speak. So he will definitely be in position to gain a lot more attention over the next couple of years, courtesy of what he's doing right now by representing this game. Smook, man, this is a special one, man. He got the tools to be one of those P4 offensive linemen. Do you see the potential? It's still early. It's still early, but you can see the measurements off the charts. I mean, they are absolutely off the charts. Is that going to help him pretty much elevate him possibly being a P4 player soon?
You're talking about a true freshman. You're talking about a freshman starting at offensive tackle, not on the offensive line, the tackle position. A true freshman. I don't care what his film looks like right now today as a true freshman at 6'6", 320 plus pounds. I don't care what it looks like. If he's getting out of his stance, he's getting his hands on people, he's winning matchups against other varsity players as a true freshman. I don't care what classification, experience at that. You got to be able to win some type of way, and he's able to do that as a freshman. That's all you want to see. And he's got a lot to work on. I mean, just what you expect from a true freshman, man. He got a lot to work on in that size. He don't even understand how big he is. This young man don't understand what he's carrying. He don't even know what he's capable of. I guarantee you, he ain't got a mean bone in his body. You probably gotta fuss at him to go and freaking clean somebody's clock, right? So I look at just the measurables right there. That's what makes him attractive. But then you turn on the film and you're like, okay, he's willing to move. He's not lazy. He's going to finish the play. He's not going to look around for something else. He's trying to learn how to be nasty. He just had a block. Got tripped up, and it wasn't even it wasn't really his block, right? But he wanted, hey, I'm here. So he tried to lay on him. True freshman, he ain't did that a lot in his career. He ain't did that a lot. But I guarantee you next year, as he continues to get surrounded by other assets, people that's going to help him develop, we're going to see this young man's stock continue to rise. His size alone makes him a top 10 defensive offensive lineman in the country. Not just in the state, but in the country as a true freshman in that 28 class.
Easily one of the top guys in the state of Alabama and in the country if he continues to develop. And I'm pretty sure he has a trainer, but I would love to see him get some independent private training with some of the well-known guys that we have in the state, just so they can see what he has up against what they train with in a day-to-day operation. So that's the challenge for me. I want to see guys like Adrian continuously excel, but I also would like to see them in a different element, getting some work in, how they move, how they look, is because you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be playing next level at a high level.
Yep.
And what better way to get prepped up by putting yourself out there where those dogs are as we currently speak.
And he right there with Coach L at, so get on over there to Coach L. Coach L, we got another one coming to you. Oh, we got.
Yeah, we got to get to Coach Hayton, who works with offensive linemen. Also, I don't know if Chad Slay. I know there's some Big Man Factory. There's several trainers in the state of Alabama.
Where's Velocity Football? Where are they located at?
Oh, that's in Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's either way. He's gonna have to get with a trainer to advance to the next level. Or whoever he's probably working with somebody right now. But we just don't have to see more over the next couple of years to just truly solidify you as one of those top elite guys in your class. And that way you can elevate your status, also star status and monetary value of your overall prospect status.
Right.
There's a lot of things that can go into that. But right now, there's not a lot of kids that we can find 6'6", 323 pounds. We just cannot find those type of kids.
How you feeding that child? How are you feeding that child? Miss Dorico, Mr. Dorico, how are y'all feeding that child? Teach me the way, because I got 4 boys, man. I'm prepping to be housing 4 boys here in the next year or so. Co-parenting. I'm about to become custodial. So teach me, because you feeding that one monster that I could just imagine what it's gonna be like feeding these folk. I don't think I've produced any specimens like this. So good luck with just that part of life. But enjoy this recruiting process, because it's definitely going to be a journey with following Adrian Dorico, man.
Absolutely, man. It's been a great list of players for our first really initial show and launch of this cross collaboration show from Twitter to all the other social media sites, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you're streaming at right now. But this is the beginning of something that can definitely, pave the way for future generations. Allow a platform to where we can speak in different audiences, but collectively we're speaking about the same thing. I know for a point in time, I know Smook, you're seeing a lot of people tune in. We're definitely finding them to the actual live event to actually see the footage of what we're talking about. That is a beautiful thing. So we will continuously do this. We'll be back again on Thursday, hopefully again to be able to get you guys some more players in. I got the first phase. We got through the first list, and we'll probably be able to collaborate on some lists too as well. I typically I do things by list. I got several lists of players from 26, 27, and 28. But man, I think what we do is the first come, first serve. And if we do many of these shows throughout the rest of the year, we will probably go through all the 26s or most of the 26s before we start doing the next class, which will be 27. So everything is entertaining right now. I think the viewership is up across the board for what we're trying to do right now. And people are going to watch the playback, listen to the playback, or whatever they do to see what we actually talked about, especially the kids that we talked about tonight. We gave you a lot of insight about yourself, about your team, about your history, about your past, or where your future is headed. But we also speak positive about the realistic stuff that, we want to see all our players improve on in the game as a whole. So, man, I think this is a great thing we got going, Smook. I think we got to keep it up, keep the energy up, and just keep being creative the way we are. But it seems to me like the people have responded. They seem to like what's going on, and I want to keep that energy up for these guys. So I think that's a great way for Alabama high school football to survive, to stay in the know, stay relevant, and keep climbing the ladder. We're top 4, top 5. Why not number 1 one day?
Yeah.
Right now, with guys like myself and all our team, we're gonna be just fine, Smook.
Exactly, man. And I once again, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. As everybody continues to tap in, just some numbers on the night. We had a peak viewership on YouTube of 31 live viewers, so that's pretty awesome. That's right in line. I got my echo. That's right in line. That's right in line with what we do with some of our live shows. So that I appreciate the community, but we saw some new viewers come through. Saw a few prospects pull up, and then on Twitter, man, 257 total came through on Twitter. So that means the word is getting out. Continue to share it, man. I appreciate everybody that's supporting what Tech and myself are doing. And everybody that's in collab with it. I don't remember all the names verbatim. I deal with so many different names on a daily basis, and I have my inner circle that we really deal with. And Tech has really put me on game when it comes to this recruiting thing. And I really bought into locking down the state because, like he said, it's so much value in the state. And I feel like for so long, I was a product of being a part of a culture that was behind when it came to high school football recruiting. I was in that generation that you didn't get the looks or didn't get the offers if a coach didn't like you. So I'm gonna continue to echo this message until it's a main thing across the country. Everybody deserves an opportunity. Opportunity is given to those who take it, right? And so when there's opportunity out there, what you do with it is on you. Our chance is to get you there, and that's what we're going to do 110%. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. I'm Coach Smook. Make sure y'all check your boy out on all platforms at Coach Smook on all platforms. You Bama fans out there, you definitely want to rock with me. High school recruits definitely want to rock with me. Just literally had a meeting with somebody that you all love to try to get your name across his channel or his page on Twitter. And well-known guy, had a conversation with him recently. And we're going to be doing some collaboration to help the Alabama space and what we're doing on the creative content side continue to reach, the masses. So thank you all for y'all support. And then once again, man, tune in Thursday. We'll be doing it again right here on Twitter and the Coach Smook Network.
Absolutely, man. Great show, Smook, man. Like I said, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Until next time, y'all stay safe.
Yes, sir. All right, chat family. Appreciate everybody for tuning in again. I'm about to take a little break. I gotta handle something real quick. Make sure this stuff get purpose. Thank y'all for tuning in. TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, come over to my YouTube channel, please, and subscribe to my channel over there on YouTube. Continue to support, man. Coach Smook. We are doing some awesome things. And with that being said, remember, when you see me in the streets, holla at me. and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We got gaming tomorrow, all day tomorrow. Y'all be blessed. Catch y'all on the next one.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
It's all in my head tonight. It's all in my head. It's all in my head.
Love all, reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all, authenticity. Love all, reunite, love all.
What you said, wanna lay in my bed, so I'm ready. It's all in my head tonight.
Love all, reunite,
It's all in
love all,
my head.
roll with the tide. I'm down in the gun with Coach Smoke through the game. Roll tide, roll tide.
Leandre Gotta Tejus.